welcome to Rebel Dietitian Kitchen. My name is Clara.
I'm Caitlin.
Caitlin, what are we making today?
We are making a version of a shepherd's pie.
Which is great timing since last weekend was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it when we scheduled it, so that's kind of cool.
But we're very excited. So let's get started and let's talk about what's going to make this recipe so exciting.
So we just came out with a Cooking with Diabetes Cookbook.
It's very
nice little pamphlet. I'm gonna grab one.
Yep.
Don't go anywhere.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna start chopping because multitasking is great.
Okay, so our little Cooking with Diabetes cookbook is just a fun little pamphlet, and it is how many recipes per section?
10.
10 breakfasts, 10 lunches, 10 dinners,
and 5 desserts.
5 desserts. And right in there is our shepherd's pie. And so why is this diabetes friendly? It's low carb.
Yeah.
So we've done are going to do a mashed cauliflower as the topping instead of mashed potato.
Yep. And so for those of you who don't know what a shepherd's pie is, it's basically a meat and veggie mixture on the bottom and then top it off with usually mashed potatoes. So by using mashed cauliflower, making this a little bit more carb friendly.
Yes. Now, fun fact, this is not actually a shepherd's pie.
Right, because shepherd's pie is lamb, right?
Shepherd's pie is lamb, cottage pie is beef, and there is no turkey. So we're using ground turkey, so we don't know what to call it.
Or I can call it,
We'll take with shepherd's pie.
Yeah, or leprechaun pie. I don't know, I'm feeling the St. Patrick's Day.
Should we diet green?
Maybe we need to do that.
Okay, so Clara is working on the bottom part of this.
Yep.
And that's going to be onion and veggies and turkey. And I'm going to be working on the mashed cauliflower. So, there are actually there's a few different ways you could do this mashed cauliflower. One way, I kind of started with it this way. I just broke the florets up from a fresh cauliflower and essentially just boiled them for a very long time. You just want to boil them until they're really, really soft.
Yep.
And then drain most of the liquid off. Stick them in a bowl, stick them in a blender, you could do it, stick them in the food processor, whatever it may be. Or you can get frozen riced cauliflower, or you can get fresh riced cauliflower. Makes it a little bit easier. With the fresh or the frozen, you can boil it, or you can steam it right in the bag. This was fresh, and it's very hot still. And I'm going to add it to my pot.
Look at that steam. Are you okay?
To my florets. So I steamed it for even longer than it said because I really didn't want it to be a rice. I just want it to mash up really well.
And that's it'll make it super soft so that it can be nice and creamy. I mean, if you like a little bit of a chunky cauliflower mash on top, you can certainly.
You do you, my friend.
You do you. And the nice thing is if you don't want to make this totally cauliflower, you could do half and half.
Oh, for sure.
Half mashed potatoes, half cauliflower, and make it.
Definitely, which is kind of a trick that I like to use in general to beef up a grain without getting as much carbohydrate if you're worried about your blood sugar. So like if you like rice or you like real pasta, maybe you add cauliflower rice to your regular rice or you add zucchini noodles to your regular pasta, and so you're still getting the texture that you want with a little bit extra fiber from the veggies. So
and
different ways you could do it.
So I'm a fan of, we're calling this like a one dish meal, which basically means that the whole dish that we're going to put it in the end has your veggies, your protein, and your carb kind of going on in there. So I love doing the like sesame noodle salad with a like spiralized veggies in there, and then it all becomes like an all-in-one meal.
For sure. And I really like, essentially it's a casserole. And casseroles can be really nice for meal prep.
Yes.
Because while it does take more dishes than just one to make this meal, it's not a sheet pan meal.
Nope.
But you can just make it, stick it in the fridge, and then just reheat it on the night that you need it, and you're good to go.
And even like if you feel like being adventurous, preparing it ahead and sticking it in the freezer too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you know that on especially a busy week, you pull it out, it's ready to go, and you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, so I just put this in a bowl. I just gave it a little sprinkle of salt, maybe some pepper, and I'm gonna put a little bit of milk. Now, with the one that I just showed you, I steamed it in the microwave, so there really wasn't any liquid. So I'm going to add milk. Now, what you could also do is, if you boil it, you can reserve a little bit of the boiling liquid, and that be your creamy consistency.
Great. way to make this at least partly dairy-free. We're going to add cheese too, but
Yeah.
if dairy is a concern for whatever reason,
Exactly.
you can pull it
You
out.
could also add a little pat of butter. I actually, before I boiled the cauliflower, I sauteed it in a little bit of butter, added some water, boiled it, so you got that flavor from that.
Yep.
Okay, a little bit of milk.
Alright, so this is looking good. So I just sauteed, I diced up some onions and a little bit of olive oil. And now what I'm doing is taking some ground turkey and we're just going to throw that in there and just brown it up.
Okay, awesome.
Alright.
Now, while Clara's doing that, I'm going to take my handy dandy immersion blender here. These are nice just because the reason why I didn't use the blender or the food processor is because I didn't want to wash them.
I know that's why you don't like using
Or I didn't want to
them.
bring it into the office. Thus the immersion blender. So it's super nice. I just noticed there's 2 different numbers on top.
Look at that. Caitlin's learning something new.
So this is also great for soup. So if you're making like
Yes.
butternut squash soup, for example, and you want to make it a creamy, you just stick it in the pot.
And do it.
And do it.
So I made tomato soup last night using that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was trying to get one more soup in before it gets warm, and it makes it so easy because you don't have to. The only thing you have to wash is that little wand thing.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna step back a little bit because I'm
All
afraid
right,
it's
do
gonna
this.
swirl.
We're gonna get a.
Work it through. Splash a little bit. It's kind of nicer to do it in a big pot because in the bowl here it kind of splatters a little bit.
Yep.
Whereas in a pot, which you should have done if you boiled it, it'll already be.
That's looking good. Want to get the cauliflower?
Am I getting you?
You are. That's okay. I'll forgive you. For those of you who are just joining us, we do this in our office. So the rest of the day after one of these cooking demonstrations, we usually smell like whatever we're cooking, or
Yes. And the
there's
office
like
always smells really nice.
It
because
does.
It smells like food.
it does, or we have food all over us. So our clients are always like, "Why do you look like you rolled in dirt?" And I'm like, "Well, we."
What,
I don't.
what food do you have all over you that looks like dirt?
I mean, I don't know. We could get creative. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there's some.
I got you.
Got me.
Okay, so I left it a little chunky, which is, however you want to however you want to
That looks good.
make it. That's our magic cauliflower.
So, speaking of kitchen appliances, bless you.
I'm to sneeze.
Bless you.
Probably the pepper.
Probably. Allergies are also starting.
I've never had allergies
Oh,
before.
mine are bad. I've officially started taking allergy meds. But I got an Instapot and I'm very excited about it. So for those of you following along at home, you guys know my obsession with kitchen appliances and how much I love all of my kitchen appliances. Well, I have a new one now. And I'm very excited. So far, I've made rice and I made a Moroccan lamb stew last night. And it was very, very, very good. So
Yummy.
I'll keep you guys posted. If you have any favorite places for recipes, send them to your girl over here.
Claire was like, I got an Instant Pot. And I was like, oh, what are you going to make tonight? She goes, rice.
Okay, in
Boring.
my defense. So I'd already planned my meal prep out, and I was like, okay, I need to do my meal prep. But then I got this Instant Pot, and I was like, okay, I want to make something with it. So I made rice to go with whatever dish I was making.
You on high there, girlfriend?
Yeah, it's heating up.
Eating up.
It's heating up. Okay, so you said salt and pepper in there, right?
Yeah, just put a little bit of tinge of salt, pepper. Good to go.
But you could really put in anything, right? Like you could
Oh, yeah.
season it up whatever way
Sure.
you like.
Most of my seasoning typically is going to go into the meat mixture.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing salt, pepper.
We're actually getting it there. Let's see.
We did the onion. You could also do fresh garlic cloves or garlic powder. Any other flavorings?
I think we are going to do some thyme too, right? I like the idea of thyme.
Yeah.
And the nice thing with this is you could do any protein. Like we mentioned, there's cottage pie and all the other kind of pies out there. But you could also use any kind of starch on top too. like a sweet
Oh.
potato,
Butternut squash.
butternut squash, parsnips.
Parsnips.
Yeah, you
My
could.
world just like expanded.
What can I say?
What else can I do?
All right, so that is
Okay.
browned up. I seasoned it up
Yes.
with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, some thyme.
Now we
whatever
are.
you have.
So this, you can basically make this as high or low in carbs as you want.
Mhm.
This is a mixture of peas and carrots.
Yep.
So we get some starch with the peas.
Yep.
You could do celery and carrots, which is the recipe on our website. You could do some corn in there as
Yep.
well. It's really up to you what veggies you want to use, just based on your goals.
And that's kind of the nice thing about cooking at home is you can decide where you want to amp things up and where you want to, make substitutions. So while we're going lower on carbs in terms of the potato on the top, like there are still carbs in here with the peas, which is great.
Yeah, so we're gonna put that in. They really don't have to cook that much because it's all gonna go into the oven
Yeah.
so that the cheese can melt on top.
Right, you wanna-
Now, we're
Flour
gonna
meal.
add so we did here, so the recipe calls for a pound of meat
Mhm.
and what was it? An onion, a
Mhm.
bag of peas and carrots, and then about a tablespoon of flour. And what that flour is gonna do is it's gonna help thicken it up.
And you could use a flour substitute, chickpea flour, something else if you are doing this gluten-free.
Yep. And we're also going to add a little bit of chicken broth, half cup.
And we're using reduced sodium so that we can control our seasoning.
Definitely. So whenever you add add flour to something as a
Mhm.
thickener, you really want to make sure you cook it at least for a minute,
Yeah.
so that it cooks off any of that raw floury taste.
Yeah, it does not taste.
Yeah.
Not taste very good.
Okay. Excellent.
All right.
So,
Ooh, that's nice and thick. Look at that. Okay.
beautiful.
Ready? Off. Now we're gonna do this.
It should be enough room for all that in there.
I'm feeling hot from this stove over here. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So
This guy in.
our dish is gonna be a little small for this. That's okay. So then you just pour the cauliflower on top. Give it a spread. Now for this recipe, you really want about 2 heads of cauliflower. If you go the fresh cauliflower, you would want to do like 2 bags of the rice cauliflower. And that should be good. This little pan, a little small for all that cauliflower. That's okay. And then I have some cheddar cheese.
Oh, and I'm pulling out because this was getting a little bit heated in our oven.
And then a little sprinkle of cheese. All right,
Ooh,
and
that
that
looks
goes in the oven.
cute. Let's switch that out. And we do have our finished product right there.
Check that out. Yummy.
All right. I'll turn that
Okay.
on in a minute because I'm excited to eat this.
Before we dig in, or while we're digging in, what are some other one-pan meals that you like?
So I like making, like I said, the pasta noodle salads with putting in, throwing all the veggies and doing that kind of stuff. Actually, our next month's Facebook Live is going to be a one-pan meal. Enchiladas with a secret ingredient that I'm very, very excited about. Yeah, I have some fun casserole recipes with cauliflower rice and chicken and broccoli and those type of things. So those are some of my big favorites.
I love all of that.
What are your favorites?
I make a really good veggie lasagna.
You do make a good veggie lasagna, yes.
So it actually uses, and you could do a combination of both regular noodles and regular noodles and vegetable. Basically, I slice eggplant, zucchini, yellow squash, and I grill them up, and then I layer them.
And that's on our website, actually.
It's on our website.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite go-to.
Oh, that is a good one.
All right.
All ready?
Smells good.
Smells really good. That is good.
That will do.
That will do. Well,
All right, cool.
our next Facebook Live, April 16th, and like I said, we're doing enchiladas with a secret ingredient, so stay tuned for that.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below.
The
And
recipe will be in the comment section.
it will. All right, we'll see you guys next month. Bye. Bye.